to start your recording. Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Monday Morning Motivation. And congratulations for not making excuses. I know it's a vacation day, but we never want to make an excuse to not have amazing people like Sarah coming to speak with us, even if it's a vacation day, because there's early birds everywhere, right? So Sarah is a coach, Reiki practitioner. She actually did a really, really amazing tarot card reading for me in January. That was like really, really outstanding. So Sarah is full of like many, many talents. So that's why I'm so excited to have her with us today. Short overview, all of you may know Monday Morning Motivation. If you're not in the WeChat group yet, just scan the QR code here, and my colleague Maria or I are happy to admit you to our 5 WeChat groups or any of the groups. We're so excited. Finally, we will have our 2-year anniversary coming up. So if you guys are in Shanghai, or if you want to come from Hangzhou, Guangzhou, Chengdu, wherever you are, join us for the 2-year anniversary party. We will be about 100 people networking, enjoying delicious cakes, food, snack, amazing people. So please join us on May 30th. And now here you can also see our lineup for this month. So next month, it will be my colleague Maria and me speaking about the power of positive intelligence. Then we have amazing Mark speaking about the importance of finding your why. And the why is really the basis and the foundation for everything in your life. Then we have Power Woman Karina with us, speaking about Trust Index, how trust affects our life. And last but not least, we're going to have a different kind of speaker. We don't always want to have coaches and trainers, okay? So don't get me wrong. But we're going to have Michelle speaking about coming out of your comfort zone. And I can tell you this, he's not just going to speak about the comfort zone. We will cover some topics that we have never covered in Monday Morning Motivation yet. So Michelle, I'm going to interview him in person live on Monday morning. So feel free to join us. Some other cool events that are coming up. Sarah will introduce the creative wellness taste testing very soon. Also, our amazing trainer, Adrian, and we will have another event soon. Woo, my dog is going crazy now. So, as you know, we always make it these events for free. So, yeah, join us. Sorry, I'm distracted by the dog now. I guess, Sarah, I'm gonna hand it over to you now. It seems like my friend's dog is hungry. Great. And I'm giving it over to you. And as you know, guys, after the 20 minutes, you can ask Sarah lots of questions.
Janine, could you just allow me to share my screen?
Yes, there was something.
No problem. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning. And thank you so much to Janine for the lovely intro and for giving me the space to talk about a absolutely fascinating topic, the chakra energy centers. So as we get started, I would love for you just to write in the chat where you're from, how you're feeling, and what color you decided to wear today. And we're going to be talking about actually the connection with all of this. So what country are you from? A word that describes how you're feeling and what color you decided to wear today. And I'm going to share my PowerPoint meanwhile, and I'll let Janine also share out the responses since I won't be able to see the chat at the moment. Okay. Everybody can see screen, all good. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, so I have been teaching French and Spanish for the past 14 years to adolescents, mainly high school students, but I am transitioning out of that to start a new entrepreneur life in Shanghai as an intuitive energy coach. So I'm going to be doing coaching and also teaching and consulting related to different intuitive energy techniques. So the chakras are really essential, and understanding of the chakras is very important for all of the work that I do. So I see that Janine has disappeared, so maybe I'll stop sharing for a moment just to take a look at what is in the chat. So what everyone is wearing. So John is wearing black and feeling energized. Okay. White, interesting. Feeling at peace in black. Okay. Rajni wearing white, a lot of black and white. Gray, purple. Okay. Orange. We seem to have a range of colors. Some of them are chakra colors. Blue, gray, and a chakra rainbow necklace from Alicia. That's awesome. Okay, fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna reshare my screen so we can go ahead and move on. And if you have any questions, I'm going to give you a lot of information, probably best to ask at the end, but feel free to write them in the chat and to write any comments. And Janine will help me with that portion whenever she finishes with her dog. Okay, so what we are going to talk about today, chakras. A chakra is probably a term that many of you have heard before. If any of you do yoga, or perhaps you've watched the film and you've heard the characters talking about, oh, I think I have a blocked chakra. So chakras are very essential in offering a roadmap to really understanding yourself and to understanding the connection between mind, body, and spirit. A knowledge of your chakras will really help you to have a better relationship with and understanding of your body, a better connection to your emotions. It will also help you in being very conscious, a more conscious manifester of what you are creating in your life. So what we are going to cover are chakra content, or what exactly are these chakras, how they connect to our physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, and what techniques can we employ to keep these energy centers balanced and aligned. So if any of you are not familiar with the term chakra, chakra is a term that comes from Sanskrit, and it actually means wheel. These are subtle energy centers, or you can think of them as vortexes that are constantly spinning. They are always active. These are vortexes that cannot be seen by the human eye, so they're not tangible, but they can be seen, felt, and sensed through your intuition, which is why it's very important to be connected to your intuition to really thoroughly connect as well to your chakra. So each chakra contains a bundle of nerves and major organs, and it stores the energy of thought, feelings, memories, experiences, and actions. So if you look at the diagram, you will see that we have 7 major chakras total, although well, 7 major ones, but research indicates that we actually have 114 total energy centers. So there are many. We're just going to focus on the main 7 because we don't have time for 114. But these 7 centers are associated with different areas of the body, with different elements, and they each have color vibrational frequencies. Remember, it's all energy, and energies have vibrations. That's important to keep in mind. So what we want is for our chakras to always be open, aligned, fluid, so that they can be balanced. When a chakra is unbalanced or becomes blocked, the energy flow then is restricted. The energy flow, we refer to this as chi, prana, and this can result over time in disease. So keep in mind that disease always manifests itself first on a spiritual level. And then if you do not deal with the underlying issue, over time, if the chakra is blocked and remains blocked, it can manifest on a physical level. So this is what we want to avoid, which is why it's important for us to have a relationship with our chakras and understand how they work. Okay, so your actions and emotions are what keep chakras in balance. And having an awareness of which of your chakras are out of balance is really key in bringing them back into alignment. So as I mentioned, we have 7, as you see again in the diagram, 7 chakras, major chakras total. The lower 3 are connected to the earth. So this is about survival, sex, power. The upper 3 are connected to a higher consciousness. So these are more about truth, intuition, your higher purpose. And then in the middle, you have your heart chakra, which bridges the two with empathy, compassion, and love. So we are going to take a look now at each chakra individually and some characteristics of each one. So you will see on the PowerPoint that I give a mantra for each chakra. So if those of you who are not familiar with a mantra is a sound in Hindi, which is repeated to aid concentration, usually in meditation. And each mantra has a vibration. Again, I'm going to repeat that word a lot, vibration, energy, that's very important to know. So we're going to start with our root chakra, the Muladhara. Your root chakra is your foundation. It is the color red, and this is the chakra that's related to stability, security, to feeling grounded, to having your basic needs such as food, water, shelter met. So if any of you have ever had some concerns with finances, in terms of how am I, fear of not having enough income, of having financial abundance, this will usually indicate that you have an imbalance in your root chakra. This is quite common. That's why there's so many meditations, I think, that are related to financial abundance. Very, very common. Balancing this chakra is essential in creating a solid foundations for your other chakras so that they can be open and fluid and balanced. So when this chakra is balanced, you will feel confident in your ability to withstand challenges. You will feel grounded. You will feel secure. And this chakra, it's important to note, is very strongly related to your experiences and development as a child. So as a child, were your caregivers giving you what you needed to feel safe, to feel secure? If they withheld, if they delayed in giving you these necessities, or if this was inconsistent, this can result in root chakra blockages, which may manifest, that can be on a subconscious or unconscious level, which can manifest later in life. So some ways to balance this root chakra are by connecting with nature, since this is, although some people say there's an earth star chakra as well, which is supposed to be the lowest. We'll just focus on the root for now. So the root is the lowest one connected with the earth. So spending time in nature, for example, taking a walk outside, connecting with water. This could be taking a bath, going to a lake, a shower, the elements. That's a great way to open up this chakra. Some foods that you can eat, and this is not an exhaustive list. This is just, I have found a couple of foods which also happen to be the same chakra, but there are other ones as well that you can eat. But root vegetables, proteins, grains are great for opening up this chakra. And a question that you can ask yourself and meditate on if you feel that this chakra might be out of balance is, what do I need in my life right now to feel grounded and secure? What do I need to feel stable? Okay, so moving on now. Next, we have our sacral chakra. So this is the color orange. It is in the genital area, and this is our center of creativity. This chakra is related to feeling a sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, joy. It is one of the main centers of our emotions, and this chakra is central, very important in developing adaptability, being able to go with the flow of life and to have healthy relationships. This chakra, very important, chakra related to relationships. One way that you can, the most important way actually for opening this chakra is through creative expressions, not being afraid to take risks. So one question you can ask yourself is, how am I creating? We talk about creating versus consumption. There are very easy ways to create. It can be something as simple as journaling, gardening, singing, dance. It could be music. It can be through art. There's so many ways to create, but that is an essential question that I really feel is important to ask yourself. And also, what is my passion? What inspires me? The problem that oftentimes we face is that we are discouraged from really developing our creative or exploring our creative efforts due to pressure from society to conform, to fit in, to follow rules. So some ways that you can balance this chakra is by having a healthy sexual life and really being in touch with your body. So things like dance, yoga are amazing ways to get in touch with your body. Also, dance can be very helpful in releasing emotions that can be trapped in the body. So highly recommend that. Some foods that you can eat to help balance this chakra are carrots, pumpkin, oranges, and mango. Okay, next, We have the solar plexus, the Manipura chakra. So this is the color yellow, and it is your source of personal power. It's related to the power of transformation, and it is also important in regards to taking initiative, to moving forward with plans. It's very strongly related to confidence, to feeling that you're in control of your life. And it is associated with the digestive system and your metabolism. So it's an extremely important chakra, as oftentimes when we have issues, it's related to that area. So it is your source of emotions. If you ever had a feeling in your gut that something is off, perhaps anxiety, fear, if you've ever had butterflies, when we talk about butterflies in our stomach, which is related to nerves, that all takes place in this chakra center. So when you are feeling self-confident, when you feel that you have a strong sense of purpose, when you are self-motivated, when you are able to follow through with your goals, that is a sign that your solar plexus is open and healthy. When it is unbalanced, it can lead to issues such as digestive problems, liver issues, and in terms of emotions, feelings of shame and self-doubt. So some foods that you can eat to help balance and open the chakra are squash, bananas, ginger, lemon, some spices, cinnamon and turmeric are also quite popular. And a question that you can ask yourself is what am I doing to bring purpose into my life? You can also ask, how does my work bring purpose into my life? Because I personally feel that work is your soul's way of manifesting its way during this lifetime. And also you can ask yourself, do I move forward with confidence in my projects and plans? So those are some questions you can meditate on if you feel that you might have a blockage in this particular chakra. Okay. And next, we move on to the heart chakra. So this is located in the center of your chest. It is the color green. And again, this is the connection between the lower physical chakras of matter and the upper chakras of spirit. So this chakra governs the lungs, the breast, thymus glands. It rules your lymphatic system. And it has the name Anahata, and Anahata means unhurt. The idea is that it's coming from a space of unconditional love, a space where no hurt can possibly exist. A closed heart chakra can result in feelings of fear, resentment, ignorance, and even hatred. So in order to open this chakra, it's very important to make sure that you are letting go, maybe meditating on and letting go of hurt feelings from the past. So if there's hurt that you're holding on to due to perhaps a past relationship, it's important to let go and also practice forgiveness. Practice forgiveness for other people, but also forgiving yourself is equally important. Giving love is important, because in order to receive, we need to give. And smiling at people, smile at random people in the street. You'd be surprised actually how this can raise your vibration and how this actually can help other people and how many people may smile back. So that's a great way to open up this heart chakra. Some foods that you can eat which help with this chakra are leafy greens, avocado, my personal favorite, dark chocolate. It's not green, but I like it. And I always feel a lot of love when I eat dark chocolate personally. And a question that you can ask yourself if you think that this chakra might be blocked is, how do I show myself love, kindness, and compassion? Okay. Then next we have the throat chakra. So this governs the thyroid, jaw, neck, mouth, tongue, all of those areas. It is the color blue. And this is related to the ability to speak your truth. It is the second chakra that is related to creativity. So we had our sacral chakra, and this chakra now, because it is your source of creative expression, of expressing vocally your life purpose. So working on your lower chakras is important, because that will also help you to be able to express yourself with a higher level of communication. So again, they're all related. And you want this chakra to be open so that you're able to verbalize with confidence your needs, your desires, your opinions. When this chakra is unbalanced, it can lead to thyroid problems. Some ways that you could open the chakra are by repeating affirmations. So if any of you are not familiar with affirmations, an affirmation is a phrase that has a high vibration that you repeat. So for example, I am confident. I am enough. I love myself, and the affirmations are something you can actually look in the mirror. It's a great idea to do that. And you should always repeat them 3 times. But repeating them even more is great. It's a way to reprogram your subconscious and remove limiting beliefs. So affirmations, also, if you are someone who has problems with expressing yourself, for example, you have a meeting at work and there's some strong personalities and you have trouble speaking your truth, you can practice writing down what you want to say and actually verbalize it beforehand. Other ways to open the chakra are through chanting. So we're going to talk again about the mantras at the end, singing, humming. So those are all great techniques. Some foods that you can eat related to this chakra to help balance it are blueberries and blackberries. They're also super healthy. And a question that you can ask yourself, if you feel that the chakra may not be balanced, is how do I speak my truth in the world? And then next, now we're on the upper chakras and we're coming to my favorites, which are the chakras that are most really directly related to intuition and the connection to everything else in the universe. So third eye is a term that many of you may have heard already. The color is indigo, and this is your connection to your sixth sense, your clairvoyance. So a lot of times people who are clairvoyant, who have that sense, will actually see the images in this area, in the center of your forehead. So when you're meditating, if that is also a sense that you want to develop your clairvoyance so that you're able to more strongly see images, then when you meditate, you should be focusing your energy here in this area. And so Ajna, the word Ajna means beyond wisdom. Opening up your third eye can lead to lots of exciting new discoveries, such as lucid dreaming, telepathy, extended imagination, better creative visualization. And so one way to open up your third eye is actually really by trusting your intuition and by practicing meditation. That is a fantastic way to get in touch with your third eye. Developing your creative visualization is another way. And there are amazing books on this as well. And some foods that you can eat to help with the third eye are plums, grapes, figs, eggplant. And a question that you can ask if you think there might be a blockage are, how connected do I feel to my intuition? How am I using my intuition to make decisions in life? Okay, and then finally, our last chakra is our crown chakra. So this is some people attribute the color violet. White is most common. So if you have ever meditated and heard the expression white light, surrounding yourself with white light, connecting with the white light, that is connecting with source energy that's directly related to this chakra. So it's referred to as the 1,000-petal lotus, and it's at the crown of your head, above your head. This is your connection to what some people will call divine, universal life source energy, God. It's some different terms for different people, but really it's a spiritual connection to all that is and to the energy, the divine energy of creation. So the idea of this is about pushing beyond, being able to see that we are more than just a physical body, that we are all connected. When we talk about that term of oneness, that we all come from the same source, that I am connected to every living being, and that includes animals, and that includes everything on the planet. So we also have to treat every living being with respect, with kindness, with compassion, with empathy. So opening up is this realization that we are pure awareness and consciousness. And the mantra for this, which I'm sure all of you know, is Om. And even the meaning of this, the divine within me recognizes and honors the divine within you, really encompasses the essence of the crown chakra. So some ways that you can open up your crown chakra are by cultivating moments of awareness as a daily practice. So really taking time, for example, in simple things, when you're taking a shower, to tune into the water and the feelings of the water, giving gratitude. Unconditional love, practicing unconditional love. So loving without judgment, without expectations. But the most powerful way to really open up the chakra is through silence, which is probably why there are so many silent meditation retreats. So silence is a very powerful way to connect with everything else. So there are no foods specifically related to this chakra because most commonly people, when they want to open up they want to connect with their intuition, when they want to connect with source energy, they fast. However, you can also drink, if you choose to fast, an iced tea, and tea is a great complement for this chakra. And a question that you can ask yourself if you think this chakra might be blocked is, how do I connect to others? And now, finally, I'm going to talk about some ways to connect with and balance your chakras. So I mentioned mantras, chanting mantras. So chanting mantras actually creates vibrations in your body to help your cells work together in synchronicity and in harmony. And if anyone has ever been to India, this is one type of meditation that they practice. You can go to places where they're just repeating the same mantra. They just chant it over and over and over again. And it's incredible energetically. It's very, very powerful. A very good technique that you can use is visualization. So meditating together with creative visualization is very powerful. So what you do is while you're meditating, you focus on the area of the chakra and you actually imagine this spinning vortex. You imagine the color and you see it opening up. There are meditations. If you are someone who is more clairsentient, you can also place your hands on your different chakras and just feel the vortex. So feel the spinning energy. You want it to be spinning. You don't want it to be stagnant, and feel it opening up. There are also some fantastic meditations if you haven't done this before to get started, like Da Vinci, Deepak Chopra. They have great chakra meditations. Wearing chakra colors is fantastic. So for example, today I'm wearing blue because I wanted to open up my throat chakra and be able to communicate and articulate and speak my truth with all of you. But if you're feeling that a chakra might be a little bit depleted, wear the color that's associated with that chakra. Again, also everything in life is about intention. The magic is within you. These are just tools to help you. Choosing chakra enhancing food. I talked a little bit about that. You want to make sure obviously that you're eating a balanced diet. Journaling is a really powerful way to connect with your chakras by specifically journaling on the emotion. So let's say that you're feeling a lot of anxiety, or maybe you're having trouble motivating yourself to follow through with a project. Really journaling on how you're feeling and getting to the root of where that's coming from will be a way to help you connect with that chakra. Energy healing is another very, very powerful, I personally believe, one of the most powerful ways of clearing and aligning your chakras. So I teach and practice Reiki. So Reiki is a type of energy healing where I channel universal life source energy through my hands to the chakras of the person, and I can feel where their chakras are either sometimes they're overactive, sometimes they're underactive, they could be stagnant. And so basically I help to transmute the energy. The universal life force energy is just pure high vibrational energy. So it transforms any negative energy into high vibrational energy. It also gets the chi flowing and helps to remove blockages. And then crystals. So I'm going to stop sharing this for a second so I can show you a little bit about crystals. So crystals each crystal, if you've ever heard of having a set of chakra crystals have vibrations, and different crystals can be used to help you with balancing different chakras. And what you can do, I'm going to show you a few examples of crystals, is if you meditate and you lie down, you actually place the crystal on that chakra. And what the crystal will do is that when a chakra is blocked, the crystal helps to clear the blockage and restore the normal energy flow through the body. I use crystals combined with Reiki, and it's super powerful. So for example, this is amethyst, and amethyst is a great crystal for your third eye, activating your third eye, so connecting with your intuition. This is selenite. Selenite is a beautiful crystal. It's got a very gentle vibration. This one is for connecting with the higher realms, connecting with your crown chakra. Another example, this is tourmaline. Tourmaline is a beautiful crystal that is got a stronger energy, very grounding, because it's for your root chakra. So this is a good energy, good crystal for also protection. So if you are ever feeling like you are taking in the energy of other people, we sometimes refer to them as energy vampires, you can use this crystal to help protect you against other energies. And also I want to mention a crystal pendulum. So a pendulum is something that you can use. I use this actually before I start Reiki sessions, and I've used this with my students. They absolutely love it. I have actually one 15-year-old who asked me pretty much weekly to check her chakras and see which ones are out of balance. So what the pendulum does, you develop a relationship with your pendulum and you have to program it. But my pendulum is programmed so that when I hold it over each chakra, if the chakra is in balance, it will spin counterclockwise. If it's out of balance, it will go back and forth, or it will be stagnant and not move at all. And then very quickly, the other two, because I know we're coming up to time. The other two methods that we can use, or other three methods, we have sound bowls. So sound bowls, the human body is extremely sensitive to sound. Different tones of sound can be used to treat different chakras. And so these sound bowls, I actually have a set that come from Nepal, and they are specifically designed for chakras to help align the chakras. And what happens is the high vibrational frequency of the sound helps to remove the lower vibrational frequencies of fear, of anger, of resentment that might be present in the body. So it's used to raise the body's vibrational frequency, just like Reiki. So to give you an example, this is C, the tone C, and this is associated with the root chakra. And then we have the tone F, and this is associated with the heart chakra. So amazing way to really also align your chakras. If you haven't tried a sound healing session, I highly recommend it. And then very quickly, the other two ways, yoga, you can do different postures, different asanas to help you if you feel that you have a chakra that is out of balance, and breath work. If you're familiar with pranayama, which is a breath work technique that comes from India, there are different types of breath work that you can do to help you to align different chakras. So now I'm just going to share my PowerPoint with you again. We are at the end. One moment. And yes, so these are the sources that I used in this presentation. Thank you so much for joining me this morning to learn more about chakras. If you would like to stay connected, here is my information. I would be happy to send you the PowerPoint. If you would like to learn more information about some of the spiritual techniques like the sound bowl healing, about Reiki, about chakras in general, I have a lot of information on my website. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I love talking about these things as well. These are really my passion, this energy healing, everything related to intuitive energy techniques. And then I would just love to tell you very quickly about an amazing event that is coming up this Saturday. So for those of you who are in Shanghai, Janine and Alicia and some fantastic other coaches in Shanghai are doing our very first Soul Listers event. So Soul Listers, even if you're not in Shanghai, we would love for you. We have a WeChat group to join it because we are planning on having this group. The idea is to bring together a community of soul-centered people. And so we are starting in Shanghai, but we want this to be international. We do have a WeChat. If you add me, I'm happy to add you to the WeChat group. Janine can as well, as can Alicia. So our first event is going to be this creative wellness taste testing. So what we're doing is we have organized an event around the wellness wheel. So if any of you are not familiar with the wellness wheel talks about the different areas in life that you want of wellness that you want to have in order to have balance in your life. So everything from emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, environment, financial, all of that. And these also are related to the different chakras. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have these incredible speakers who are going to give short presentations and do activities related to each area of the wellness wheel. And each one then is going to be, what's that? Oh, in each, yes. Question. Okay, I'll just
sorry,
finish.
Was that a question? I had just muted you. And otherwise, unmute yourself again. Yeah, maybe Sarah, you can quickly finish that.
Yeah, I'll just finish up. So basically we're partnering with this amazing chef who specializes in plant-based cuisine. Everything is vegan. She's all about sustainability, locally grown products. And so I worked together with her and gave her a list of ingredients for each chakra. And she's creating snacks that are related to enhancing and balancing each chakra. So if you are in Shanghai, we hope that you can join us because it's going to be fabulous. And thank you so much for being with me this morning. And that is everything. And I can now look at the chat if you have questions, comments. I guess I'll stop the share. Yes.
Okay, everybody. Now it's the time to ask questions, and I can already see the first question here. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, dear Sarah. I love listening to it. Okay, Yolandi was asking, what if you have more than one chakra blocked? Which one do you prioritize?
That's a good question. I don't think that you need to necessarily prioritize one over another, but I think it would depend. I think you should be aware if more than one is blocked, because you can be working on multiple aspects of wellness in your life at the same time. But I think it will also depend upon what's going on at that particular moment in life and your environment. So for example, if you feel that your third eye is blocked and one thing or is not blocked, but rather overactive, and when the third eye is overactive, oftentimes this means that there's a lot of mind chatter, which can mean that we're not taking enough time perhaps for ourselves to really tune into ourselves, to do things like meditation. So if that is something that is an issue when you find, for example, that you're not sleeping well, that you're spending all of your time working, then maybe you want to prioritize that first and think about how are some ways that you can enact balance, put balance into your life and find some times for self-care each day for yourself. So it's not a question of prioritizing one over the other. It's really a question of being aware of what the different imbalances are, thinking about what's going on right now in your life. And then often, it can also happen. It's not uncommon for there to be more, as they're all related, for there to be more than one that could be blocked at the same time. And perhaps also working on one can help to unblock the other.
Okay, that was a good question. We actually had a similar question in the 7 a.m. Talk. So I think this is definitely of interest for many. Ihek was saying, I'm only unbalanced in red chakra, but strong in other 6 chakras. Can you give me an example?
An example of what exactly? Could you
Ihek, maybe you can unmute yourself.
Because I know my big personalities or my ENFP. I know in the Western world, it's similar, just like a world traveler, how to say, plane, Amelia Earhart. So I don't know in chakras. Just like I was born in the year of dog, I know Confucius was born in the year of dog. So he's my model. He's the example. And just like big 5 personality, I think maybe just say Tony Robinson or just Frank Mercury. It's a good example for me. So if you know someone who is one unbalanced or blocked in red chakra, other is wrong, which people is so famous? Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I can give you an example of someone who has a very strong imbalance in his root chakra. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is very much dominated by ego. And actually, I think he has a lot of blockages in his chakras, to be totally honest. But I think, though, in answer to your question, when you say that you're only unbalanced in your root chakra, keep in mind that your chakras are not going to always be aligned. They just aren't. Based upon what's happening in your environment, based upon your emotions that day, it's going to happen that, I mean, I do Reiki, and I've never had a Reiki session, given a Reiki session where someone's chakras are all aligned. So, depending upon what's happening during that day, day or during that week, or, you know, your circumstances, it's going to fluctuate. The important thing is just to be tuned into how you're feeling, and to be tuned into your body and those areas of the body, so that if you do feel that one is blocked, you know how to tune in and help to get it balanced.
Do you think it's changing according to your behaviors, or you know you do it, therefore you are?
The question is, do you think it's ever changing according to your behaviors?
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and going back to the example of my student, she came in one day and she said, can you check my chakras? And now she does this once a week. And so once a week she comes in, can you check my chakras? And each week it's a little bit different, but she has one that is consistently blocked, and that is her solar plexus. And then she actually told me recently that she went to the doctor, and the doctor saw that there were some issues with digestion in that area. And then she had some problems with anemia, and there were other physical conditions. So she was, you know, she was excited because there was a direct correlation between the solar plexus. But this is also a student who really struggles with finding her voice and expressing herself and expressing her emotions. So it's actually not, to me, it wasn't that surprising that there was a blockage there.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay, let's go back to the chat. What other questions do we have? So, yeah, Prayal says, thank you for the lovely presentation. An amazing amount of information was said by Michelle. John is giving great feedback. Oh yeah, Arslan is asking, how can we know that our chakra are working fine? I'm sorry if I asked wrong question. This is my first lesson about chakra and I was late to join too. Hey, Arslan, don't worry about this. I'm happy you're asking a question. I'm sure Sarah is happy to answer this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I had given towards the end a lot of techniques for understanding if your chakras are balanced. But one of the main ways is really by tuning into your emotions, tuning into your intuition. Because if you are really tuned into your intuition, you will feel when there is something that is off in your body. So you will feel that it's off in your body. And then if you are feeling an emotion, and a very strong emotion, and that is persisting, then it's a good idea to do some research and see what emotion is that chakra associated with in your body. And then that will help you to know if there is one that is off. But it's really, the idea is that you know yourself better than anyone else. These are just, at the end, some of the techniques that I gave you. I really recommend regularly doing some sort of one of these healing types of techniques, be it getting a Reiki session, doing sound bowl healing, doing yoga. These are all, doing meditation, doing the creative visualization meditation. When I first actually got into the chakras, that was one of the advice that I was given, even if you think your chakras are aligned, every week to do this meditation where you visualize the chakras, to be sure, because sometimes you may not always know. But if you're doing some sort of self-care, that will also help you, again, in tuning into your body, and then it'll help you to know faster if there is something that is off. Hope that helped.
Okay, do we have any other questions? It's 8:44. Okay, so yes.
So my question is, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you, Helsing.
All right. So my question is, first off, awesome presentation. Secondly, when you did that chakra heart bowl resonance thing, I felt something. So I think I might have some kind of issue with my own heart chakra. Thank you for that. My question is this: how do I, in our culture, we know some things about this, about the chakra world. Though I haven't really delved totally into it. So if I'm gonna, let's say I wanted to start working on this, what would be a good way for me to start working on it? If you were to give me like one action step I can take after this meeting, what would be that next action step I should take?
Yeah, that's a great question. This is how I first started working on it. and this is what I would recommend. Get one of the chakra meditations. They don't take long. If you are someone who is open to meditation, which is going to help enhance your life anyway, it's 15 minutes. If you get the Da Vinci one, it's 15 minutes, and he goes through and he actually explains to you, this is the chakra, this is what it's related to. This is the mantra, say it with me. And then you're doing all of it. You're doing the creative visualization, you're doing the mantra, you're kind of getting, it's like a all-in-one deal. So that would be, that's what I would suggest. That would be the first step. If you want to learn more about chakras, I can also share the PowerPoint because I have a couple of resources as well, which are great. I think it's important just to have a basic. You don't need to know about the 100 and all of them in great detail, but it's good to have a basic knowledge about all 7. So that would be the main thing. I would say things like yoga are good to do, but they're not specifically talking about the chakras in yoga. So an action like yoga is good if you feel like you need to have them balanced. But if you want more kind of an explanation to really understand them, I would start personally with the Da Vinci or the Deepak Chopra chakra meditation. That'd be my recommendation.
Where do I get the Da Vinci or Deepak Chopra meditation? How do I attend them?
Yeah, Apple Store. That should be on the Apple Store. Da Vinci, I have it on my phone. I can
if you
look
connect
after
with Sarah, she can send all this stuff to you. I think that she can send all this, and she can coach on this, and she can do Reiki sessions. She can even do it remotely. And I know that she's done that for other people.
I'm happy to connect you to Sarah in Helsing if you like.
Thank you. Please do.
Yes, please feel free to connect. I do intuitive energy coaching, so I combine coaching with different intuitive techniques like Reiki, sound healing, intuitive cards. That's my thing.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Now we have the last question, and then I'll leave you into your Monday. Could you use a musical instrument instead of the singing bowls? Yolandi is asking. Sarah.
Yes, you can. I'm actually a violinist. And so the reason that I was honestly drawn to the singing bowls was because I'm a musician, but you can use a musical instrument. They have the same tones. So absolutely. Yes. I encourage that. It's creativity. It's going to open up your sacral chakra. Yay.
Wonderful. Okay, everybody. Here you can see a few more really cool events that are coming up. The one Sarah shared before. I still have a crazy dog next to me who really wants to play. And I hope you all have a wonderful start in a new day and week. Woo. This is tickling now. Sarah, thank you so much for today's session. And happy Monday to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, or if you're starting on your projects. And as we always say, take the inspiration you got today and start taking action. All right. Happy Monday. And see you guys next week, hopefully. Take care. Thanks,
Thank you,
Sarah.
everyone.
Great job. Bye. Happy week.
Bye-bye.